Greetings, dear learners. I am Dr. Shaumili Mandal, and I'm back with my fifth lecture, that is Myths of South India, in my seventh module. In this lecture, I'll be dealing with the myths of South India, specifically Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and the other states. The myths, tales, deities, and literary traditions of southern India, which includes the states of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana, are intricately entwined with their rich and varied cultural. Throughout history, this area has been a breeding ground for the creation of sophisticated theological doctrines, creative manifestations, and literary genres that capture the complex interactions between indigenous, Dravidian, and Aryan belief systems. In addition to being moral and spiritual compass points, southern Indian myths and tales also provide insights into the philosophical debates and socio-political environment of their eras. With localized versions of pan-Indian gods like Shiv, Vishnu, and Devi, in addition to distinctive folk and village deities like Ayanar, Karuppu, and Mariamman, the pantheon of southern Indian deities is both vast and locally diverse. These deities are not only revered in temples but are also woven into daily life and are frequently called upon in rituals, festivals, oral traditions, and the performing arts. A fundamental source for comprehending these myths and legends is the literature of the time, which is written in classical languages like Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam. For example, heroic stories and legends of the heavenly characters are mentioned in Tamil Nadu's Sangam literature, whereas later Bhakti poetry changed mythological storytelling and devotional rituals. Regional language retellings of the Mahabharata and Ramayana, as well as epics like the Silapattikaram and Manimekalai, demonstrates how southern India localized and reinterpreted more general Indic mythology. Now, I'll talk to you or I'll discuss about the myths and legends of Tamil Nadu. A huge and intriguing collection of myths and tales and legends may be found in Tamil Nadu because of its rich cultural and religious legacy. The temples, landscapes, festivals, and communities of the area are all intricately entwined with these stories. According to the myth of the Madurai Minakshi Amman temple, goddess Minakshi, a manifestation of Parvati, was born with three breasts. It was predicted that the third would vanish when she married her intended spouse. The third breast disappeared when she first met Lord Shiv as Sundareshwar, and they were joined in a lavish celestial marriage ceremony. The tale, which recreates the divine marriage, is reenacted during Madurai Chittirai festival. The legend of Lingodbhav and Thiruvannamalai. Here we have a myth that Shiv took the form of a Lingodbhav or column of fire to resolve a disagreement between Vishnu and Brahma on who was superior. Vishnu surged downward for the flame's end but was unsuccessful, while Brahma flew upward. Shiv thus demonstrated his dominance. He is said to be assumed this flaming form at Thiruvannamalai, where the Annamalaya temple is located. In honor of this occasion, a huge flame is ignited atop the hill during the Karthigai Deepam celebration. The Kanchipuram Kamakshi and Ekambareshwar has also a story. It goes that goddess Kamakshi, Parvati, used a sand based Shivalingam to undertake intense penance underneath a mango tree in order to regain Shiva's love. Shiva put her commitment to the test before re accepting her. The Ekambareshwarar temple at Kanchipuram is based on this legend. And the very famous Sabarimala temple, it is thought that an indication of Lord Ayappa's presence is thought to be the white flowers that bloom on the hill next to Sabarimala. There are legends that these flowers, which strengthen the divine link, also blossoms in the hills of Tamil Nadu during the Mandala season. These seasonal blossoms are regarded by the local hill tribes as gifts from the gods and spiritual omens. After her husband Kovalan was wrongfully executed, Kannagi, the heroine of the Tamil epic Shilapatikaram, used her chastity to destroy the city of Madurai. She was later deified after proving his innocence. The cultural significance of Kannagi Amman is venerated throughout Tamil Nadu, particularly in ceremonies led by women, and is revered as a representation of justice and fidelity. In the Palani Murugan and Bogar myth, it is said that Siddhar Bogar used Navapashanam, a mixture of 9 poisons, to build the idol of Lord Murugan in Palani. According to legend, he has achieved immortality and is still guiding seekers in spirit. One of Murugan's 6 sacred abodes, Aruparai Viru, Palani Murugan's temple, attracts millions of visitors each year. Every tale describes how Shiv appeared through these objects to impart spiritual knowledge to his followers. The demon Surapadman, who would not repent his evil deeds, was vanquished by Lord Murugan. Following his loss, Surapadman was changed into a rooster and peacock, which served as Murugan's banner and transport. And from here, we have the legends of Murugan and Surapadman, the demon slayer. Particularly in Tiruchendur, this event is commemorated as Skandashashti. Now, I'll talk to you about the myths of Kerala. The southern Indian state of Kerala is rife with mythology and tradition. Tribal customs, local folklore, Hindu epics, and cultural practices are frequently entwined with its myth. These tales, which combine religion, fantasy, and history, have been passed down orally for many centuries. Kerala's creation and the Parasuram myth is extremely important in the Hindu mythology. Lord Vishnu's 6th incarnation, Parashuram, is credited also with creating Kerala. Parashuram wished to make amends for his faults after murdering numerous Kshatriyas to exact revenge for the death of his father. The Arabian Sea withdrew to reveal Kerala, a strip of land, after he tossed his axe into it. The Keralopathy, a historical account of Kerala's beginnings, make reference to this tale. Locations like Gokarna and Kanyakumari are frequently linked to Parashuram's travels. The myth of Mahabali and Onam states that Mahabali was a kind Asur, a demon, and he was a monarch who governed Kerala. Kerala was a prosperous and egalitarian state during his tenure, but the gods were alarmed by his fame and turned to Vishnu for support. By assuming the Vamana form, that is, the dwarf form, Vishnu decided Mahabali into, actually, he deceived Mahabali into ceding his dominion and forced him to go to the netherworld, that is, the Patal. To honor Mahabali's return from the netherworld to visit his people, Kerala celebrates Onam every year. He is welcomed with symbolic actions such as floral carpets, boat races, and a lavish feast. We have the ballads of North Malabar myth or Vadakkan Pattukal, which are fabled accounts of local warriors, particularly Unniyarsha, Chandu Chekavar, and Aromal Chekavar. They portray bravery, treachery, and heroic deeds and are semi mythical. Legendary female warrior Unniyarsha is praised for her courage and beauty. Known as tragic anti-hero, Chandu Chekavar betrayed Aromal during a combat. Theyan performances dramatize this mythology, which serve as the foundation for the Kalariyapattu storytelling. There are also certain myths about Theyam. A deity or spirit is represented by each Theyam performance. Mythological creatures or deified ancestors endured injustices, and they are the subject of many Theyyam legends. We have the Muchiluttu Bhagavati, a Brahmin woman who became a deity after being wrongfully accused and burned alive. A forest deity frequently connected to Lord Shiv is Vayanattu Kulavan. During Theyyam festivities, when artists go into trance like states, they are thought to be possessed by gods, and the myths are reenacted. One of the 12 children of a celestial marriage, Naranath Bhrantan, was a famous and eccentric philosopher from the 8th century. He has a well known habit of rolling a stone up a hill and then letting it fall again and again, signifying the pointlessness of life's endeavors. Philosophical thoughts are reflected in his stories. In one tale, he tells a monarch that his insanity is only a means of piercing the world's delusions. In Kerala, where snakes are revered as guardians of land and spirit, very much like Bengal, the serpent worship is common. The serpent king Nagraj is said to have reside in Sarpavakku, a sacred forest. Damage to a snake or its grove is thought to bring bad luck. Women travel to the Mannarasala temple, which is devoted to the snake god, in order to obtain reproductive blessings. A fable about a childless couple blessed by Nagaraja is part of the temple's lore. Legend has that no man could ever kill the demon Darik. To slay him, the gods created the furious goddess Parvati, Bhadrakali. She fights Darik until she kills her, brings back peace. And Mudiyattu, a ceremonial dance drama presented in temples throughout central Kerala, tells this myth. Next, I'll be talking about the myths of Karnataka. The southern Indian state of Karnataka, which is historically and culturally significant, has a wealth of myths and stories that capture its varied past. This mythology, which dates back thousands of years, features monarchs, sages, demons, gods, and even natural formations. We have the Chamundeshwari legend. Durga's fierce goddess, Chamundeshwari, is the one who slew the demon Mahisasur. The legend states that Mahishasur was a strong demon. It's more of a myth, you can say, that frightened both the earth and the heavens. The battle was fought on the Chamundi hills, close to Mysuru, and the gods produced Chamundeshwari to vanquish him. It is stated that Mahisasur inspired the name of the city of Mysuru. This triumph of our good over evil is celebrated as the well-known Dasara festival, which culminates in a magnificent procession in Mysuru. On top of Chamundi hills are the Chamundeshwari temple and a massive statue of Mahishasur. We have another myth of Vishnu in his Vaman form, that is, the dwarf form, which forced King Bali, a kind and just monarch, to the netherworld. Some people think that Vanavasi in North Karnataka is related to the kingdom of Bali. King Bali is revered, particularly on Bali Paddayami, which is a part of Karnataka's Deepavali festivals. The story is frequently portrayed in temple carvings and folk tales and is emblematic of dharma and humility. The legend of Agastya Muni in Ahiol and Badami region tells that the renowned Vedic rishi sage Agastya stayed in the Badami Aihol area after traveling south to balance the vitality of the earth. He is credited with bringing order to the area and battling demons. Badami's Agastya Lake bears the sage's name. Legends of Agastya and other sages are connected to a number of regions' ancient temples, including those in Aihol and Patadakal. The demon Bhasmashura attempted to use his boon, which permitted him to cover anyone into ash by touching their head. And he tried that on Lord Shiv. Shiv is said to have escaped and sought safety in the Chitradurga hills. Myths involving Shiv, Hirimba, and Bhim from the Mahabharata surround the Chitradurga fort. Temple histories and local tales link this area to Shiva's fight from Bhasmasura. We have the Onaka Obawa legend, who was a legendary figure, although not a myth in the divine sense. She was the wife of a guard at the Chitradurga fort and used a onake, pestle, to kill enemy soldiers who were attempting to enter through a secret tunnel. Her tale, which is taught in schools, is a presentation of how courage and patriotism functions. In her honor, a portion of the fort has been named Onake Obavana Kindi. Despite having historical roots, this tale has become a local legend. A number of Karnataka locations assert connections to the Mahabharata. For instance, in Chitradurga, Bhim's presence is noted. During their exile, Kunti and the Pandavas are said to have resided at Kuntibetta, which is close to Pandavpur. The locations are sites of pilgrimage. Parts of the Mahabharata are reenacted at yearly local festivals. These mythologies are extensively dramatized in folk art forms such as Yakshagan. We have the river myth of Kaveri. Known as a goddess, she is said to have taken on human form in order to aid humanity before changing into a river. She is also linked to sage Agastya, and the river's creation narrative is based on the mythology of her fleeing from his Kamandulu, that is the water pot. Talakaveri is regarded as the river's birthplace. Tula Sankramanna, the rising of the river, is celebrated with festivals every year. Now I'm going to discuss the myths and legends of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Mythologies, legends, and stories abound in the culturally diverse southern Indian states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, combine spirituality, traditional beliefs, and history. In addition to local tribal and regional tales that have been passed down over the ages, these myths are derived from Hindu epics such as the Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the Puranas. Ahobilam and the story of Lord Narasimha. At the Nalamalla hills, Ahobilam is of avatar of Lord Vishnu is said to have slain the demon ruler Hiranyakshipu and saved his disciple Prahlad by assuming the ferocious form of Narasimha, half lion and half man. Mythology claims that the actual fight took place, and the remnants of the heavenly wrath can still be seen in the rocks. Among the 108 Divya Deshams is Ahobilam, 9 shrines honoring various manifestations of Narasimha can be found within the temple complex. We have the story and the legend, we can say, of Lord Rama, who is associated with the town of Bhadrachalam, which is located on the banks of the Godavari River. During their exile, Lord Ram, Sita, and Lakshman are said to have resided in the neighboring Dandakaranya jungle. The temple was constructed in the 17th century by a devotee named Kancharla Gopanna, also called Bhakt Ramadesu, who also wrote a number of devotional hymns. Telangana's main destination is for the pilgrims who visit here. The Sri Navami Ram Navami celebration, which recreates the celestial marriage of Ram and Sita, is the temple's most well known event. One of the 18 Shakti Peeths is the Brahmramba, and one of the 12 Jyotirlingas are located in Srishailam. In order to bless their followers, Shiv is said to have manifested as Mallikarjun and Parvati as Brahmaram, and both Shaivites and Shaktas consider the location to be sacred. It represents Shiv and Shakti's union. It is one of the few temples that has both a Shakti Peeth and a Jyotirling. The Shakti Peeth, we have the Brahmaramba, and the Jyotirling, we have Mallikarjun. Lord Narasimha, a descendant of Rishi Rishashringa, is linked to Yadagiri Gutta. He appeared before the sage Yada Maharishi. Narasimha, pleased by his dedication, took 3 forms: Yog Narasim, Gandhara Berunda, and Jwala, a well known destination, particularly for Narasimha fans. The Telangana government recently constructed this contemporary temple complex, so we can say it's a legend in form. The Yadagiri Guttu and Lord Lakshmi Narasimha in Telangana is is what the legend of Jatayu in Andhra Pradesh and Lepakshi is very famous. The celestial eagle Jatayu was mortally wounded in the Ramayana as he attempted to save Sita from Ravan. Lord Ram is said to have told him to Lepakshi, rise, O bird, when he fell at Lepakshi. Today, the renowned temple, Birbhadra temple, is located here. And the features of dangling pillars and elaborate architecture in the Vijayanagara style. One of the largest monolithic statue in India is the enormous sculpture. Rich tribal mythology can be found in both states, particularly among the Koya, Lambari, and Gond people. Two tribal women who fought against Kakatiya monarchs are honored as goddesses in Sammaka Saraka Jatra in Telangana. It's among Asia's largest tribal celebrations. Local village deities Peratalamna and Poleramma are revered for their fertility and protection. Now I'm going to say about the myths of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep Islands, and Puducherry. In case of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, a few tribal myths, exist. Like the Trent brothers legend in Car Nicobar Islands, there's a tradition among the Nicobarese tribes about 10 brothers who landed on several islands. The islands are claimed to have been distributed among the lineages or clans that each brother established. Tribal boundaries and ties are explained in this way. The sea spirit we have. Some tribes have spirits that defend the island and reside in the sea. To placate these spirits, offerings are offered prior to sea voyages. Shipwrecks and storms are thought to be the spirits' retribution. Certain plants or animals are regarded as ancestor spirits or protective symbols by several Andamanese communities who practice totemic beliefs. They are reverently handled and are mentioned in their creation legends. The journey of Cheraman Perumal on the Lakshadweep island is also famous. A Chera monarch from Kerala named Cheraman Perumal is said to have converted to Islam and traveled to Mecca, according to local folklore. He reportedly made a halt at Lakshadweep en route. His story is told as a part of the island's cultural legacy, and his voyage contributed to the spread of Islam there. We have the legends of the jinns or ghosts living in particular areas of the islands, particularly in old wells and coconut trees. According to the locals, depending on how they are treated, these jinns can be both beneficial and detrimental. In the Union Territory of Puducherry, one will observe contemporary myths like the curse of the goddess Kali. Karaikal Ammiyar, a devotee of Lord Shiv, was said to have transformed into a ghostly form out of devotion and walked to Mount Kailash on her head. Her story is considered both a myth and spiritual parable in Puducherry and Tamil culture. Because of its French colonial heritage, Puducherry is home to urban legends of French officials or soldiers whose ghosts continue to haunt White Town's historic colonial buildings, particularly on rainy nights. Arikamedu, the lost temple under the sea, is also a local tradition. A magnificent temple at Arikamedu, an archaeological site close to Puducherry, was once destroyed by the sea as a result of divine wrath. This is related to the notion that anything that is not valued is reclaimed by the water. A number of similar themes and traits that represent the region's distinct cultural and religious landscape may be found in the rich tapestry of myths, stories, and deities and literature from southern India. Nature and landscape in mythology is also there. The Tamil landscape is divided into 5 different zones, each of which is connected to a certain deity, according to the ancient Tamil literature. Murugan, also called Seiyon, is regarded as the young deity of victory and conflict. Vishnu or Mayan is told to be the dark hued guardian. We have Vendan or Indra connected to thunderstorms and rain. And we have the sea deity Varunan, who is also known as Nathal. Kotravai is associated with the fearsome goddess Durga in the Palai region, that is the desert region. This alignment emphasizes how closely people's spiritual beliefs and the natural world are related. Originally worshipped by the Kurinji Hill people as a Dravidian deity, Murugan was eventually combined with the Vedic god Subramanya. He is revered in many temples and plays a major role in many local festivities and tales. Mostly revered in rural regions, Mariamman is a goddess of rain, reflecting the agrarian society's reliance on fertility and rainfall. In all southern languages, bhakti saints encourage devotional worship and spiritual equality. These included the Alvars and Nayanmars in Tamil Nadu, Vemana in Telugu, Basavanna and Akka Mahadevi in Kannada, and Ejuthuran in Malayalam. Strong emphasis is given on a person's relationship with God, frequently expressed via poetry, song, and everyday language. Mythology and historical memory are combined in oral epics and ballads, such as Vadakkan Pattukal in Malayalam, Palniti Vidachitra in Telugu, and Tulu Parannas and Silapattikaram, that is in Tamil. There are powerful local heroes and heroines, and themes of honor, dharma, and divine justice predominate. Now we come to the end of our lecture. Thank you for patiently listening to me, and I think this will be beneficial for you to understand the myths, legends, and folk tales which are predominantly present in southern India and you can say throughout India. As I said earlier, that the myths, the legends have changed over the due course of time, but the folkloristic aspects remains the same. Thank you.